the line, what a clearance. He's had a jet. Goal.
Very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to MUFC Realist TV. I'm your host, Mick, and today we have a smashing lineup. Actually, our starting 11 is backstage. We have some bench warmers, some substitutes that couldn't make it. Some got injured on the way, but we managed to pull out the best starting 11 for tonight to deliver some really cracking talking points. This is Thursday night preview of the Europa League. Let's go, people. Good morning, good afternoon, bada bing, bush. It's Monday.
I think we will slap you with 3-1.
Feel like, are you feeling more confident?
Slightly more confident. No offense, no. But, yeah, to beat these guys.
It's an hour to do with Premier
League goal at Old Trafford. Jaden's the line. What a clearance. He's had a jet. Goal.
Hello to my little friend.
Well, say hello to my little friends, which are my panel and honorable guests today. Gentlemen, welcome to MUFC Realist TV. How are you guys doing?
Evening, guys.
Good. Let me introduce you all. People, forever who's coming and watching, please like and subscribe. Share this video straight away, ASAP. Before we start, take a breath, take a pause. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification, share as many as you can. We want a fantastic engagement from you, as you viewers are also the bench warmers, the substitutes that might come in and have a say. You can share the link in the description later on in the video description, but please interact with us. Listen, on my right, depends how you view it. Wait a minute, on my right, or left. Oh, well, it'll be right. Right, Mr. Niall, talk football. Yay.
Yes.
I do, mate.
Yeah, all good, Mick. You?
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm wearing light blue because I'm celebrating City losing 1-0 to Sevilla at the minute.
City. So Manchester will be red tomorrow, right? And you're all good then. It's Wednesday. Thank you for asking. Coming Wednesday, Mick Ruby always gets giddy, because he knows there's a Thursday night football and it might be a little bit of Sunday, a little bit. You know what I mean? Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I will turn my attention to my loyal sidekick, Mr. Phil Standish, Mr. Football Philosophy. How you doing, mate? Sir.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Evening, you all right? Everybody okay?
Yes,
it's good to be on the show. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. Hyped, psyched, ready to go. Let's do this.
Fantastic. Good. And the gentleman below you, all the way across the pond from America, from Virginia, a big hooray, Mr. Bryant Stinson. Yay! Welcome, Bryant. Nice to have you.
Nice to meet you, Bryant.
Bryant, I've been looking forward to have you on the show for a while. We've been talking for a while, so finally you're here. You made it. You're not injured anymore.
I'm not injured anymore. I made it. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to have you, sir. How's things over across the pond?
Yeah, things are going well. I mean, I feel like things are going as well as one could expect for things to go in America.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been quiet lately, so can't complain about that.
Fantastic. Can I ask a question though? For us living over here in Europe and UK and everyone, it's a kind of different mood, the way we talk about Premier League and stuff
Yeah.
But of course, Premier League and soccer or whatever you call it, you guys call it soccer, but and football, which should be handball, or because the only goal you kick is a field goal, right? So and the ball is egg shaped, right? So what is the general knowledge about the Premier League? Because I get a feeling that they're very educated nowadays and very excited and passionate, and and what made you pick Manchester United? What's your story?
I'll be quick about it. I think that the short answer, that's a really good question. I think the short answer is that knowledge of the game is growing. Over here in the United States, football is the fastest growing sport in the country right now, above basketball, above American football, above baseball, everything.
Really?
So, and I think that is in part because the cable company NBC owns the rights to the Premier League, and so the United States has actually been able to watch hundreds of Premier League games for the last decade or so.
Interesting.
I mean, I know that with cable packages and how things are in the UK, it's a bit more difficult to do, to have consistent ability to watch games. But in the United States, it's a little easier, and so it's grown a lot. And,
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. They do great coverage over here as well. They really are trying to help the sport grow in the United States, and I think everybody's excited about just the game generally more so than they would be about, when the men go to the World Cup or something like that. That's when everybody watches. Like people are growing. I mean, there are like pockets of fans popping up all over the country of all different types of Premier League teams, and you wouldn't have even been able to imagine that happening 10 or so years ago. So it's a great time to watch football in the United States right now.
So Brian, can I ask a question there again? Like, because I have a lot of friends living over there as well across the pond, and they're saying like, it's so, of course it's early morning sometimes, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., but the network discovered that, hey, there's no sports at this time, and this is why probably the Premier League is growing over in US.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's the really cool part, because I mean, if Manchester United have a lunchtime kickoff in the UK, I know that's going to be around 7:30 in the morning for me.
Yeah.
I'll get up and watch that game, and I think that because we have so many different networks that have so many different licensing for other sports, like NBC is not a major network holder for any other major sports in the United States, and so the Premier League stands alone on that network, and so you can watch the Premier League, and then once you're done watching the Premier League, you can then flip over and watch anything else that you want. And there are games kind of rolling all throughout the day, so it's been given really good and proper space to grow and to become its own thing, and I think that's why it's been accepted so well over here. It's great.
And you don't get as many commercial breaks as watching baseball or football. Like, it's
I love that.
They play that through the game, though, don't they?
No,
They play the adverts through the game
no, they don't.
on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, they'll pop stuff up at the bottom of the screen, but there's definitely not as many stoppages.
No.
I've been watching Manchester United for so long now, and the Premier League generally, I watch any games that are on, I'll pop them on. But it's funny, I watched the Super Bowl last year, and I just remember feeling so annoyed because of all of the ads, and there's just so many stoppages. You have to take all of these different things to get.
It's a commercial thing now, isn't it? The Super Bowl, it's really commercial.
Beer commercial, so go to the toilet commercial kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, but I just want to, like, before we move on, and just curious, because every hero has a story, like, and you have a story to tell. So obviously soccer or football, like, and wasn't that big over in US, but what made you pick Manchester United as a team? Why not Liverpool or Arsenal or?
Yeah. So, and I'll be quick about this too. So I've been watching Manchester United now for over 20 years now to this point, and I think so. This is way before the Premier League was readily available in the United States. I was growing up. I was growing up with, and I had a group of friends that we all played the sport together. We would play pickup games. We would play on teams together, and all of them loved Man United. And I was like, I knew who Manchester United was because of how big they were, but I didn't really know much about the club or anything like that. So. And I had, just a great brotherhood and community with all of these friends. So if they love this so much, let me watch them as well and see how I take to them. And that was around the 2006-07 season. So 2 years in, I got to watch Manchester United win a double.
Wow.
And so I got to watch a really good period of Manchester United just be absolutely dominant, play brilliant football, and it was great. And the reason that's the big reason that I stuck with them, because I had a group of friends that meant everything to me, that watched the club. And so regardless of how well Manchester United do or don't do, when I think about Man United, I'm reminded of community and brotherhood, which I think is really what football is supposed to be all about at the end of the day anyway. So that's it for me. So for me, it's like, I don't care if Manchester United are the best team in the world, or they're struggling, or they've lost a bit of their identity along the way. Like that club will always be so special to me. I've had the privilege of being able to sit in the South Stand and watch Manchester United play a Premier League match. I mean, it's been, and that happened, I think, 2017 was when I went to Old Trafford. And I mean, and they weren't very good. That was the year that they won the Europa League under Jose Mourinho, right? That was the year they did that. And I mean, they weren't particularly great in the Premier League. At that point, we had just been in the Premier League and just went for the Europa League. That was our only shot at getting into the Champions League. But, I mean, it was a dream come true. I mean, it wasn't the best side that I've seen watch. Wasn't the best football. I actually was there. I watched that game. It was against Swansea City. Wayne Rooney scored a penalty. That was the last goal he scored at Old Trafford for Manchester United before he moved.
I remember that one.
And so, I mean,
I love your knowledge.
Never.
The greatest goal scorer of United so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
I've got some questions for you, Bryant, but I'll ask you off air, mate, because we're taking up a lot of our time.
That's a great story.
Yeah, so that's my story. That's why I love Manchester United so much. Forget every other Premier League team. Great some. I dislike a lot of the other ones, but Man United, they're the one for me.
Fantastic. As I say, every fan and every hero has a story, and we all love the game because of we attach to a club, or we like football in general. And for me, football is just escapism. Is football is for the people. Unfortunately, what we're trying to see is trying to get more corporate. It's all about cash revenues, commercials, trying to create super leagues, and now we got to stand against it, because at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we get a 90 minutes of relaxed chill, or we get a heart attack or a brain hemorrhage if we lose, or, what I mean. But that means I'm going to transition over to my special guest of honor, as usual, Mr. David Lavelle, Mr. Football Agent for 365. Sir, welcome back from Germany. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. Just had a busy couple of weeks recently, so sorry I haven't been able to join in, but yeah, very good.
Always good to have you.
Starting to warm up now for a good week of football with a good Liverpool win last night, man.
Yes.
And it'll be great. I think tomorrow's game. Looking at the stats, with Realsociedad, they're not a bad squad now. They've got plenty of players out injured. I think they've won 5 out of the last 7
David Silva is
league games, sitting 5th in the table. So I mean, they beat United at home. I think it'll be a very, very tough game for you tomorrow evening.
Is that you as a neutral or a Liverpool supporter speaking?
No, it's good. It's me looking at the stats and just giving you the facts, really.
Yes, true. Yeah, I know.
You didn't tell me he was a Liverpool supporter.
Yeah, he is.
Get off.
But David is a good guy. We've spoken so many times before, and we have the same view. The Premier League is not the same without having a good old fight, the rivalry fight with Liverpool, and that what makes us go
we need it. Need it.
Even Arsenal. I mean, I feel sorry for Liverpool doing badly right now, because it's who
Whoa, that far.
No, I'm not saying badly, but I'm feeling sorry for you.
No, I mean, I wouldn't feel sorry for them.
Let's face it, if football didn't have rivalries, football wouldn't be what it is today.
No.
So we need them rivalries to survive.
Yeah, of course you do, and I think
Friendly rivalry, and that's what we can have.
That's kind of transitions me over to the next question again. What's going on at Liverpool, and is it a Klopp issue, or is it fan base are going mental at the moment?
I think, listen, we've a couple of injuries there at the moment. There's rumours, I think, of Liverpool getting Bellingham in, which if there's any truth to it, it's fantastic for us. But the centre of the park, we're looking weak now. Last night he did give a couple of the young kids with a run out, which I was very surprised at. 1-0 up against Napoli. They all came in on and did very, very well. So there's potential are coming through, but I still think at January window we need to buy. We need to buy. Centre of the park.
Well, you have the money though. Is the money for it?
Yeah, listen, they'll find the money.
I've got a question for David on Liverpool.
Go ahead.
Is it true? Well, there's two things really. Is it true that the loss of Michael Edwards is a massive loss? And two, is your downfall this season due to the fact of lack of investment in the midfield whereas you prioritise the front three to try and replace Firmino, who's still at the club, and Mane, who left.
Well, I think Mane to start off with was a massive loss for us. I think that they took a couple of players in, Diaz, etc., and I thought that they would cover Mane. That hasn't been the case. Mane was just outstanding, has been outstanding for us for quite a while. As far as Ward, Edwards is concerned, I think Julian Ward's doing a good job there as director of football. I believe Edwards has now been linked with a role at Chelsea. Is the latest I've heard on that. And also, I was actually speaking to a friend of mine today, Lawrence, who's now got the new director of football job at Chelsea as well. So congratulations to him. Great man, good man getting the job at Chelsea. But as I say, listen, we need investment. Is there money in the pot? It depends who you listen to and what they say. I mean, if we're going to go for Jude in the January transfer window, you're talking mega bucks. You're not talking 70, 80 million for him. He's on fire for club and country,
I mean, you're the agent, but I've seen reports of they want 150 million euros if it's down to instalments, but they will accept 80 to 85 million pounds up front as a one-off payment. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Structurally, I think it's a massive discount if that's what they're talking.
Yeah.
Majority of players are structured, the way the deals are done, it's structured over a couple of years, really.
Yeah, every deal generally is installments, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
They get one up front at 80 million.
Yeah.
I would jump at it if that was the case. If it was an 80 million up front, it's money in the bank. Money in the bank. If there's any truth to it, now, to be honest with you, now I haven't heard that myself, but if that's the truth or there's any truth behind that, we need to jump at it. He's a steal.
I've seen it reported a few times across multiple sources that it is still accept 80, 85. If you just give me the money, all of it right now, we'll accept it. If not, we want 150.
Well, you're saying that now until the likes of Man City or someone get interested, and then that deal goes to the side.
Real Madrid as well.
Real Madrid, exactly. So he's been linked with. Listen, he's on fire for as I say, club and country. I hope as a Liverpool fan he comes to us. And if it is,
it'll be a bidding war, don't you reckon?
Sorry.
It's going to be a bidding war.
I think it will be a bidding war unless Liverpool come in early, which listen, I suppose we discussed this I think before. The Liverpool are one of the clubs that do work behind the scenes, don't really put it out there in the public domain and get the job done. So therefore it takes the element of a bidding war away.
Okay.
They did it with Nunez and Diaz, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, that's it.
So when one thing that pops into my mind is, to attract that kind of caliber player, the talent that everyone wants at the moment, you got to also look at from the player's side. David, would now he want to join, let's say, Liverpool if you're not finishing in the Champions League spots, or will he just go, I want to return to England, what's my options? Liverpool, Chelsea, United, the top clubs. Or would I go to Real Madrid? I don't think he will go to Real Madrid.
Well, I suppose
I disagree.
On that, Mike, really, you look at Newcastle for a matter of
speculation, gossip.
You look at look at Newcastle. Newcastle have all the money in the world. Once again, they're not in the Champions League, they're not in the Europa League, and that's the reason why they can't attract. They can pay. Listen, let's be honest. They can pay whatever the players want, salary.
But they can't because of FFP.
Well, there's always a way around it, and
they're doing it properly anyway, in my opinion. They're doing it properly.
Yeah, if you do it properly, look at City, look at PSG, look at the rest, and they can do it if they want to do it, and there's ways around it. But if these players want, it's not all about the wages. It's all about winning stuff as well as the wages. And I think they attract the bigger names to the club, and Liverpool being one, if they don't finish in top 4 this year. Is there a chance that in the summer window that they won't attract the bigger players? Certainly there is. And as I say, Newcastle, they could attract a hell of a lot of players this year. But I think they're realistic about it, and the players that they targeted, and what they've done is they've told them the big picture. It's not the here and now. It's maybe 2 or 3 seasons down the line and where they'll be. And I suppose the answer to the question is if they don't finish in the top 4, it will put players off from coming. Yeah, of course it will.
Is there anyone else to have? I mean, we kind of naturally slide into the transfer January window. Of course, David, you and me, we know that it's going to be the biggest shopping window we've seen for quite a while since it's the World Cup. It depends on who does well. I mean, from you got your ears on the ground. You know, you work within the FIFA European leagues and those kind of things. What have you heard in terms of the from a United point of view?
I actually spoke to someone very high up in United yesterday, and from what I've been told, you aren't doing much business in January. No, that was yesterday. Once again, we're miles away from the January transfer window. You've got injuries. You've maybe players going off the boil. You've got the big spanner in the works here that we've never done before. It's unique. Is the Winter World Cup?
It's a summer transfer window, isn't it? For most clubs now.
Well, it is. I mean, you've got to remember at every World Cup, there's always a couple of players that we've never heard about before. We always come out of the
America or whatever.
Yeah, and could it be that some of these players step up at the World Cup and the likes of Man United who say currently that we're not doing anything, but hold on a second, there's a kid here, he's 21, he scored 4 goals, 5 goals in the World Cup. We can get him for 20 million, get him for 30 million. Let's take a punt on him. It always happens. So I just think it's too early in the window. I mean, I spoke to AC Milan as well today or yesterday, speaking to AC Milan. I spoke to PSG, and once again, there doesn't seem to be at this moment in time that there's much movement. But as I think it was AC Milan said, and we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. There could be anything. So
I'll probably get in trouble because it's wasting more time. But with obviously we know there's always an inflation during a window after a World Cup. Now because players perform, so some of that price jumps up 20, 30, 40 million in some cases.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that in January. So then what happens when the players that do well in the World Cup but don't get snapped up in January, and then they continue to have a good remainder of the season, how much is their value really going to end up going up come summer?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they have a good World Cup, the spotlight is then on them, and then clubs are keeping an eye on them. And once again, it goes down to the supply and demand, and who's actually after the player. If we get into a bidding war with an individual, we've seen this a million times over, especially in the
it could just go like that.
It just goes through the roof. 1 or 2 clubs get involved, especially top boys in Europe now.
But I'm just wondering, because there's a high premium if they perform well in a World Cup in the summer. So if they perform well in a World Cup in the winter, but don't get their move in January, but then continue to still show what they're about for the remainder of the season, would that not have an extra increase on it?
Of course it will. Of course it will. But
so we could see massive bids.
Well, I think if you go out in the World Cup and you play well, and then you continue to play well after the World Cup in whatever league you're in, once again, you're going to get loads of interest. You're going to get a bidding war, and when you get a bidding war, it's just it takes 1 or 2 clubs, 2 or 3 clubs, to start bidding against each other, and that price goes up and up and up, and it can be colossal. I mean, we can go into the World
One of the most famous ones from that is James Rodriguez, isn't it? He was
That's
the one
exactly
who caught the eye.
Yeah.
He's the big example of that, where he went to a big club and he did all right, but he was. Everyone looked back and said, his best moments was during the World Cup, sort of thing. He did all right.
This is the difference, though, Phil. So. The difference is in that scenario, he's done his job in the World Cup, and it comes to a summer window, so they immediately sign them. We've never experienced it before, where we've gone, fucking hell, that's a good player, or we've missed out on him. So, but then he still has another 6 months to play in the league. to prove himself even more. So surely that value is going to go up higher than it ever would in a summer window after a World Cup, because he's done that in the World Cup, and then he's gone bam because he's had another 6 months before the actual summer big window where people spend bigger.
Or he could drop. He could have had a wonderful World Cup and then just not be the same for club, because it depends who you've got around as well, doesn't it? You can't
hopefully.
And you've in a team that's not doing as well, and they only start to really come to the front when under the spotlight, when they're with
on the biggest stage.
All the national, with all the the better players around them, sort of thing, and they sometimes need that. And so going back to the club could also, if they don't snap them up there and then it could work both ways. It's going to be an interesting window, certainly.
It's going to be very different.
Another one in there, guys, is that we've never experienced this before, is because it's a January transfer window.
Yeah, in the Winter World Cup.
And the contract rolling into the summer. They are now in a position now, if a player's there and he's got 6 months left in his contract with the current club, he can sign a pre-contract in January and move.
Foreign clubs only, though, isn't it?
And then get a larger salary, or there's so much we've never seen before. So it'll be interesting to see, what comes of it and what deals are done. I just think it's an exciting time.
I think that's the most exciting thing about this World Cup. The transfer window.
I think it'll be an interesting. It's unique. It'll be good to see how it shapes out. As I say, any of the clubs I've been speaking to recently, any of the big boys, they aren't moving. There's been one or two have been on the phone, and they've give us targets already for January. But majority of them, I think, listen, it's still a bit early, and they're saying they're not interested. But that always changes, lads. That's always.
Wan-Bissaka definitely out. What I heard. Also,
he's going to play. I had Wan-Bissaka. I had Wan-Bissaka in the last transfer window. I spoke to quite a few clubs throughout Europe, and the salary, etc. Nobody was willing to pay it.
No, it's the price.
And also the Glazers weren't willing to accept the loss either, were they?
Well, no, they were. They were considering. They were open to everything.
Interesting.
I spoke to quite a few clubs on quite a few of the United players. And no, there would, if I'm honest, United were very keen to get them off the salary, off the wages, and then move them on, and also let the players play. It's not.
That's very refreshing to hear that, David.
And it's good for the players. Listen, the club weren't holding them to ransom. The club wanted to get the guys to play football and better their career. And they were, to be honest with you, they were very. It wasn't all about money. It wasn't all about money.
So do you think that means there's been a change in the background? As in, Erik ten Hag, when he was being interviewed for the job, he said, I want full control. Do you think that is actually an element in this to understand why Wan-Bissaka was going to let him go for a loss? Because that's not what Glazers do.
No, I don't think it was, Niall, if I'm honest with you, because I had the conversation before Ten Hag came into the club. Now, it all got put on hold when he came in. Obviously, he wanted to assess every single player and give every player the opportunity to prove themselves, which they did do. He then, so some of the names that I had on the sheet remained on the sheet from day one, and it was the same terms and conditions from day one as it was when Tan came in. So
okay,
interesting.
That's refreshing to know.
Bryant, do you have any question regarding the transfers? Like, who do you think ins or outs, or who do you want to see come in if you are transition that, like, from the views of America?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I think it's really going to be interesting, because I'm really interested, kind of to what David was talking about a little bit ago. So we've got a handful of players that are going to be out of contract come this summer, and
they do have an extension though of 1 year.
Yeah, and I know that's kind of that's one of the things that's kind of one of the ways that the club likes to do their business. They like to retain value in a player by putting.
But they can still never sell them though, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and I guess for me, it's interesting because, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that this past week, Ten Hag specifically said that he wanted 2 right backs, right? That he wanted 2 right backs, which I feel like.
Yeah, he wants more for Dallo, doesn't he? He wants competition for Dallo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Max Terrace has been linked for 10 million pounds, and another. And wait a minute.
As well.
Yeah, but we keep forgetting one very extreme good talent, which is Ethan Laird as well. That is on loan.
I've heard that today.
Yeah.
No,
go
not for
on,
me.
Brian.
But
Sorry for jumping in. Sorry.
I just think it's interesting because I feel like any.
There's something wrong with your AirPods or something.
yeah, it's breaking up a bit there, mate.
You not hear me that well?
Yeah, now
no,
it's better.
today now.
It was cracking.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was saying if you ask any United fans who they would like to see, I feel like right back is on the list, like a fullback is on the list, but the primary target for most United fans is up front, like in the number 9 position, because United have been defending very, very well, but they have not been scoring a whole lot of goals.
I totally agree, Brian. We went from not being able to create chances to now we are creating chances, but we can't finish them. So we need that number 9. We need that clinical finisher.
Yeah, and United went from conceding all the time. Yeah, and Cody Gakpo. I mean, I think he.
I want him, but he's not number 9.
No, but he's getting goals and assists for his team, and just because he might not be in an actual number 9, he's getting goals and assists. So it doesn't matter where he starts on the pitch.
No, I believe we still need him, Phil. We need Gakpo, but we also need a real number 9 as well, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah.
People who's watching this, drop a like in the comment. Let us know who do you want us to recruit. Who do you think is the ins and outs? From what I understood from yesterday, the out in imminent is actually Facundo Palestri. It's coming from his agent. Yeah, he was speaking up. Yep, definitely.
I've heard that was misinterpreted.
That can be also the agent saying like my client is not getting enough playing time. But on the other hand, he was injured and was supposed to go on a loan. So that could be Palestri going on a loan deal, but I don't see it being a permanent. And David, what have you heard around that? Have you heard anything, or?
I haven't heard a thing, guys. It's been very, very quiet on the home front on that,
I believe it's been misinterpreted by his agent saying he's going to be leaving United in January or the summer, but it is actually on loan rather than a permanent deal, is what I've been hearing.
Osimhen as a striker. Daniel Fletcher, welcome to the chat. Our first chatter. He says Osimhen as a striker. Leo for
left wing.
Left wing. Yeah.
Do you understand, Daniel, that will cost about £250 million for both of them? The Glazers aren't going to do that.
I'm just going to Zed is saying no. Okay. Fahim Faisal saying Gakpo.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people want to go for Gakpo.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, David, because Gakpo and Ten Hag has the same agent. And we know that there was talks between Ruud van Nistelrooy and Manchester United. They had everything sorted for the summer. And then the issue was that Ronaldo was retained and stayed. So Gakpo never came. But that is a deal to be done. It's just the fee structure, I think around 45 million euros what they're talking about.
Cheap.
There's been a couple of things now.
Enzo Fernandez?
Sorry, mate?
Enzo Fernandez. We were linked with him in the last window and we're being linked with him again already, sort of thing. Is there any movement on him? Apparently
or even the right back from Barcelona,
We're also being linked with Nunez that just signed for Wolves as well. Apparently, Ten Hag's a big admirer of him. Okay. And with the position Wolves are in with now, we might end up going for him. I don't see anything.
Daniel Fletcher straight into the goal.
We cannot continue stream without a Frankie de Jong question for sure. Will United go for de Jong? Well, sorry, I have been reporting on this in the past, and I keep saying again. Me and David, we were talking about this earlier regarding Barcelona's financial situation, that they actually deferred all the debts forward. They're just going all in the Premier League. To qualify deep in, but obviously now they are not even going to the Premier League. it is inevitable they need to offload some wage
Champions
bills.
League, you mean?
Yeah, Champions League.
Yeah.
There's been talks of loaning out Frankie in January. Basically, Manchester United will take on the full of his wages with an obligation to buy in this summer.
And Barca will do the same at Wolves for Ruben Neves.
Ruben Neves. So we will see what that is brewing. Or United might, because it's clear and obvious that Erik ten Hag wanted Frankie de Jong, absolutely wanted him. So I see that being returned. Perhaps depends on, because now they bought Casemiro's been working out beautifully. Now with Frankie, you have to build a team around Frankie to get the best out of him. Erik ten Hag knows how to get the best out of Frankie, for sure. But what do you guys think? Playing Frankie de Jong alongside with Casemiro, that would be a frightening, mouth-watering prospect to have as a midfield, right?
And Donny and Ericsson in the number 10. That is magic.
I'll tell you what I'm looking for.
Oh, Liverpool will go for him, maybe.
Whatever comes in this window, I just think that the Premier League is getting more and more exciting season by season. The weaker clubs are getting stronger, and the stronger clubs are starting to balance out a little bit as well. You've seen the Newcastle coming through. West Ham's bought some good players. And you're just seeing one or two good players just sneaking into the Premier League, and you just know that it's just getting stronger week by week. And you used to be able to say, oh yeah, the top four, it's obvious who they'll be. They'll beat anybody. It's not like that anymore. Anyone can.
It's like a top 8 now, isn't it? It's not even a top 6 anymore. It's like a top 8, top 10.
We've got the coaches coming there. We are just becoming the strongest league again.
We are the Super League of Europe, actually.
And Z's right as well. Napoli would want 100 million plus for Osman.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I spoke to Napoli as well, and they're not for doing anything this window, January at the moment.
So, well, they're doing well, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're at the top of their game at the minute.
They're on fire. I spoke to Cristiano a couple of weeks ago, and he's for doing nothing this window. So at the end of the day, they're playing well. Don't upset the apple cart. They're flying in the league. So yeah, I would doubt that'll happen unless there's a mega offer comes in. I would doubt it'll happen.
But you'd agree, David, it's the same. Leao and Osman are costing you around 100 million plus euros for each of them.
Yeah, at least I would say.
Yeah,
I would say at least in the round,
Yeah, Fahim Faisal, big up for your chat. Gapco is a great deal for 30 million. Depends on, if we are the only one going in for Gapco, let's say that's a great price. But I would see that other clubs will also go in for Gapco over the summer, January.
If he's a 30 million, I'm sure there'll be a handful of clubs after him.
Well, there's been conflicting reports, hasn't there? There's been reports that due to some kind of clause in his contract, he can go for 25 million. Whether that's pounds or euros, I'm not quite sure. Yeah. But then Fabrizio Romano has come out and said, no, it'll be 45 million. So it's then trying to find out where the truth lies in that, and I'm sure that will develop and come out in a few weeks.
Information from Van Nistelrooy, United, great link. Same agents as Erik ten Hag. There's a deal to be made, So
in Gakpo, there definitely is. Yeah. So I believe it was done. It was. We were trying to go for it, and the board backed out. And then when Leeds was having their deal nearly completed, suddenly it collapsed the day before the deadline. I believe because Erik ten Hag has the same agent, that is what happened. Ten Hag picked up the phone and said, "Don't let him go there. He's going to be our player. He's coming to United. Give us till January, summer."
In terms of the striker situation, I've just heard that Erik ten Hag is also interested in his former Ajax striker. I can't remember his name.
Broby,
Brian Broby. Yeah. Or there's Jonathan Davis also on the list. Yeah. Canadian.
Yeah.
Bryant, you're Canadian, but what do you reckon about Broby?
What am I reckon about Broby over at Ajax? Yeah.
Would you like him?
I don't know much about him. I feel like, I guess, given kind of his profile of striker, I feel like, I guess my only question would be, and this is coming from very limited knowledge of the player, is like, I feel like United right now under Ten Hag have been so successful because their front line has been more fluid. And I feel like if Barbary was to come in, would he maybe limit some of that fluidity? Would he have the ability to play with a level of fluidity at the front line?
Can I not argue the striker that he played, though, before he came to United? Sebastian Haller. He wasn't very mobile and fluid.
No,
and
he
it worked.
changed him. Totally changed him. Now, guys, I want to transition this question to the next topic because we do have a Europa League to review. And I want to go through the super chats because everyone excited that David Lavelle is on the show. So they have a lot of questions for you, David, if you don't mind. I don't mind, right? Daniel Fletcher saying, any chance United will sign a centre-back in the summer?
As I say, from my conversations yesterday with United, there's not much on
the centre-back issue.
On the list at the moment.
What do you mean in terms of summer or January?
January.
No, he asked for summer.
So summer. I haven't heard. Sorry. My mistake.
That's too far ahead, I guess, in planning.
Too far ahead, I would say at the moment, guys.
They will start planning sometimes in February for the summer transfer window.
I mean, listen, Maguire hasn't been firing all cylinders for you guys recently. He's put down that he's been injured. Has he been injured? Has it been niggle? Has it been confidence? Or what?
Mental.
We don't know. Would they maybe look at replacing Maguire? You just don't know. I think that's a situation, a position that you guys need to strengthen.
I believe it'll be Lindelof that leaves before Maguire, purely because of the value on the balance sheet.
I don't know. Okay, there's more other positions important to strengthen. In terms of what you heard, is there any priority positions? Let's say you heard there's not going to be much business done in January, but did you hear anything like, we're looking for right back or striker? I think the right back and striker would be the priorities. Or maybe they would just retract Ethan Laird, back from loan and just say play.
I mean, Ethan Laird's a very, very, very good player. Is he up to United standards at the moment? I don't think he is, to be quite honest with you. He's a fantastic player, fantastic player. I mean, you've been linked with Mark Aaron as well from Norwich. I think he's a fantastic. You've been linked a couple of windows with him, depending on what price you can get him out at. I think he's a fantastic player. Certainly one for the future coming through. He's proven himself. What is the price tag?
Apparently, he's around 10 million. Apparently, that I've heard. But you're the agent, so you tell me.
Listen, if you're getting him for 10 million, I would jump at him.
Yeah.
A player like that for £10 million, I would jump at him. Get Wan-Bissaka out the door, or get a couple of them off the books. Even Phil Jones. Can't even believe Phil Jones is still about. We're still putting him in the same conversation, but he is still there. United need to get some of the bigger players off their wage.
Phil Jones might as well become a doctor because he's been in hospital for that long. He knows the script, doesn't he? He knows how to deal with it all.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying for him, Fazal, he prefers Martinez.
Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, not bad.
Lautaro Martinez, yeah. He's
not bad shout.
Good player.
Listen, there's several linkage to right back, like Frimpong. I call him Ping Pong, though. For some reason.
No, you copied me for that. That's why. Yeah. I said ping pong, and you took it.
Yeah, and then yesterday I heard also about Max Aarons for going for £10 million.
And Gino Dest as well is still on the radar.
Yeah, Barcelona, Dest. Dest was linked to United over the summer. For some reason.
But he is at AC Milan on loan with an option to buy. So it still is a possibility, I suppose.
Daniel Fletcher, thank you again for your contribution. Rather have Bellingham over De Jong. Enough Glazers would never spend that amount of money on him. Yeah. Any Bryant? Any comment on that before we move on?
I guess if the quoted numbers are anywhere as high as like 150 plus, or if it's as low as like 80 to 85, yes, they absolutely would spend that money on them. They've done it multiple times for several different players. So I think, they've done business with Dortmund, so it's not like they don't know how to go about handling that as well. So I feel like I feel like if Manchester United can have a good enough season and get back into the Champions League and Jude Bellingham becomes available for the right price, they absolutely would go for it.
They will go for it. I think so.
But I do think that if they get into a bidding war with the team and the price starts to hike too much, then they will move away from him. Because I feel like, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like that's kind of what happened with Darwin Nunez this summer as well. United were in for Nunez, and then Liverpool came with a quoted price that was way higher than what United were willing to offer, and United pulled out of it. And so,
well, according to David, United, it was just speculations, right? We spoke about this, David.
I mean, that could be it too. Yeah, that could be it too.
We weren't that heavy linked with Nunes as the media was saying.
No, because they always sell United interested, so other clubs come in and buy them.
But once again, is Bellingham going to be available in the summer? Will he go in January? Will Liverpool come in once again, sweep them away? Like they've done with so many other players. They've went in. People think they're going to strike in the summer, and they went in January window and just got the player they wanted, paid the money, got the player. Yeah.
See, David, I'd generally say no. Dortmund will not sell in a winter window. It'll only be summer. But given what I said to you before about that 115 installments or 85 up front, now if somebody pays that 85 in January, they may well do.
Yeah.
Fantastic people.
Well, Dortmund are also really savvy as well. They won't sell unless they have a ready-made replacement ready to come in. It was the exact same thing that they did for Holland as well, right?
They'll only sell one star per season.
They brought in Malen when they sold Sancho, and they brought in Adeyemi when they sold Holland. So they're really savvy about that.
Ibrahim from AC Milan to United this summer. I don't know. We're too early to talk about this summer, but
apparently it has an anti-United clause in the contract with Real Madrid.
And also,
Real Madrid can't sell him.
We spoke about it. Napoli don't want to sell Osimhen. David knows this. Has been speaking to them as well. So before I miss any super chat, Fahim Faisal saying Casemiro is completely a different profile than Frankie de Jong. It will be a world-class midfield for us if we get Frankie de Jong. Yes, 100%. 100%. Unless Kloppish come for Frankie de Jong and say, I want...
Pep Guardiola could well go for him as well because
also they need midfield.
De Bruyne is in his early 30s now. Bernardo Silva, I mean, it's nailed on he's going to leave the club. It's just a case of when, not if. So that's two spots there. They could get Frankie de Jong and Bellingham, in my opinion. But
absolutely,
we'll see.
Listen, gents, thank you so much, people, for sending in your comments. Please don't forget to like. It really helps the algorithm. Share this as much as you can. We are a growing community of passionate football people. We speak the game of football with their hearts, no matter where we are in the world. It's time to move on to our next topic that I want to discuss. Around the team, including you, David, as well. And it's about United. It's about Pep Guardiola's comment that, he's starting to admire to say, Manchester United is back again. Guys, what do you think is the most singular thing that Erik ten Hag has changed, according to your opinion, in the way we are playing, and what other pundits and media is now starting to pick up?
Well, he's got control of the dressing room back, hasn't he? That's the main thing. He's went in there, he's put his stamp and authority on things. He's given everybody a fair go that was at the club before he came in. And I think the guy, as we all know, doesn't take any lip or any hassle off the players. He's certainly not afraid to make an example of them. For instance, Ronaldo walking off the other week was an absolute disgrace, and a professional player doing something like that. And he wasn't a bit behind the door coming out and calling them out after the game, which, listen, a player like Ronaldo thinks he's Teflon, like nothing's going to stick. Well, from my opinion, he went in, he told the players what he expects, but what he wants, and his rules, and will work by his rules. And apparently also I've heard about the diet that he's put the players under, the training regime is
100%.
much more strict. So I think that's from my point of view, from what I hear inside as well, that's the impact he's had from coming in.
He really set the standards high, like, in terms of what you say, the fitness levels, what you eat. He's basically saying we eat together, we train together, we almost sleep together, but we don't, because you go home and sleep with your wives. You know what I mean? But no, but he really sets. I mean, and you can see that transformation in Diego Dalot, for instance. He's turned into almost like a copy of Ronaldo, like a running machine. He's athletic,
To be
running.
fair, I think Delo always had that. He
Yeah,
just never had the
yeah.
managers to let him express that as
But
well.
he's taking notes, what I'm saying, and he's also copying and taking advice from Ronaldo. So you can see that he's changed his diet. Luke Shaw is another player, which leads me to another question we can talk about. Who do you see has transformed the most under Erik ten Hag, improved the most? That could be a
Hello,
question B. Dalot.
100%.
Phil.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, obviously Dallow's the obvious standout candidate, but I think when you look across the pitch, I think nearly every player has improved. You
De
look
Even
Gea.
at Luke Shaw, his
Rashford.
confidence had
Even De
gone.
Gea.
He's come back, and you can see the players. I know we spoke about diet, but you can actually see the fitness of them. That they're not running around looking like they're carrying a fridge anymore. Even Maguire the other day, end of a game, he took his shirt off and he looked like he's been skeleton. I thought,
He's lost a load of
where's
weight,
that?
but I don't think he's gained any
He really
pace.
has. Well, no, but he's a lot fitter. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. But in terms of improvement on the pitch, you look at Dalot and Shaw. He's obviously worked on the wing backs, which is something that previous management tried to do, to get the wing backs to push forward and track back as well. He's brought Malacia in. He's put Shaw under great pressure. He gave Malacia a good run of games, and then he made a couple of mistakes, and he dropped him. And Shaw thought, right, this is my chance. I'm going to take
See,
it.
I
And he
was
clearly
going
has,
to say
he came on the pitch.
I was going to say I disagree with you on the Shaw thing about his improved Shaw, but then you followed it up by actually saying something I agree with, which Shaw was pretty much bang average until Terrace came in, and then we got Roberto Carlos. And then he fell off again, and then as soon as we got Malacia in, and he got a couple of games, suddenly we've got the best of Luke Shaw again. I think it's down to competition and threat for his position.
He's not been the greatest defender. Everybody knows that. But what Shaw was always good at, when you go back to the Memphis Depay days, that overlap run, it was really strong with Memphis when they were on the left wing, and that obviously that bromance was fantastic on and off the pitch. That broke, and I think that partly broke Shaw, if I'm honest. But then he's come back. He's come back into the team. He came straight off the bench the other week, and within, I think it was on about 5 minutes, he got an assist. He's had a couple of assists in the last few games, and he's putting some crosses in.
Created like 3 or 5 chances as well, didn't he, or something as well in that space of time.
He's doing so. I think he's a massive improvement. I think we need to look at Rashford as well. We've seen things in the media this week.
The headers.
His confidence was completely shot. And I think one thing that we can say about Ten Hag, what he's brought back in general is belief. We are a good team. Sorry, Dave. Man United are a good team, and they have got some great players, and they had to believe in themselves again. That they, after last season, one of our worst seasons for a long, long time, not just in terms of finish, but the whole performance from game to game. Fans couldn't wait for the game to finish, whether they're winning or losing. They were just bored. It was just like everybody looked. They couldn't be bothered. It looked like they wanted the season to end around about the end of January, if not before.
And so did the players, to be fair, though.
Back 2 years ago, United, he's brought pressing. He's made us run more. We're looking like we're trying to win the ball. We're winning first ball, second ball. Got to say, Scott McTominay. Yeah, I mean, every single player.
Michael's baiting us.
Scott has. He's still well, but he's had some good games. Fred's best game was against Spurs. He was absolutely fantastic. He got one of the.
You know what, Phil? I think the improvement in McTominay and Fred, be it slight or massive, it depends on interpretation of the fan. But I think they have improved slightly, in my own opinion. But the reason they've improved is because we've got Casemiro now, so they're allowed to go forward and express themselves to the best that they do, rather than being pinned back in a double pivot to defend, which they're not really very good at.
Welcome, Michael, to the chat. Ayush is saying, and we got to ask the David here, by listening to David, I can confirm he's Scottish. Hashtag here we go.
Definitely not
Wow,
Scottish.
you've been called Scottish, David.
Definitely not
Fucking hell.
Scottish.
He's not Scottish.
Definitely, that's bad. That's bad. No, definitely Irish. Definitely Irish.
He's Irish.
Ooh, he's Irish, but James, I tell you now, he's Irish.
Ayush is from India.
We shouldn't forget about. I'll tell you who's improved is David De Gea. We've seen it over
100%.
not at the beginning of the season, but over the last few games, he has been fantastic. You can
But
see
me and you spoke about it, haven't we, Phil?
Yeah, he's coming off his line now. He's getting to the end of his box. He's racing he's playing sweeper keeper. He's still making the super saves as he did in the last game.
I said to you, because that defensive line is higher, so he's got somewhere to run now.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Brian, what do you think? Scott McTominay is what Mike says here. Is absolutely improved as well. Fred has improved. I would say the whole team has improved. De Gea, as you said earlier, he's coming off his line. He's better on his distribution. He worked over the summer. Everyone's been pinpoint with when Erik ten Hag. He didn't mess around. He gave them a list. This is what you want you to do. You come late, you're not playing. If you come late, you get punished. You saw all these push-ups and everything that we're doing for punishment.
The 13-kilometer run.
Right. Discipline, wait a minute. The discipline, the hairdryer. Back to you, Bryant.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, number one, not every player has improved, right? Jadon Sancho is awful right now. He peaks and valleys. I mean, he's absolutely awful, and as a result of his poor form, he's probably not going to the World Cup, right? So Wan-Bissaka can't get a game. There's like tons of players that aren't doing well, and there's tons of reasons for that. But I don't know. Someone said Scott McTominay. I feel like Scott McTominay is just being Scott McTominay. I haven't really. I wouldn't necessarily.
Scott
McTominay. He doesn't have like
there's
no marked improvement for me for McTominay personally. I think the big one for me is I would say it's Diogo Dalot, because I remember there was a match that he played for United a few years back against Villarreal where he looked lost defensively. I mean, absolutely lost. And he's played every single minute at right back under Erik ten Hag for Manchester United, and he's gotten steadier and steadier every single game, and I think it's brilliant. Like for me, and another big one for me is Marcus Rashford. People last year were talking about we needed to sell Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford was like leaning into interest from other clubs. He couldn't wait. He was like I don't know if I want to stay here. And I think that now Rashford is, that pace, that quickness, that desire to run in behind that's been gone for 18 months or so seems to be back. And he's United's top goal scorer right now.
I just worry.
Wait. Nine. Can I just add on what you said? A very interesting point, Brian, because he came out after the last game. He was interviewed by Sky. And he actually spoke about his confidence and his belief, and he's in a better space at the moment. Obviously, a lot of things took away from his footballing matters, like the NBA thing. He kind of helping kids, which is a noble thing. But this time around, he knows, he knows his injury. He knows what the focus is. New manager, new training regime, new diet. Rashford looks like a man possessed at the moment. I've never seen Rashford. Yeah, no, two games in a row, 2 headers, 7 headers in his career, and he's getting better. He's getting tips from Ronaldo how to take those headers, how to hang in the air, because it surely does look like it.
Yeah, he's being coached right now. That's one of my favorite things about.
That's it, coaching.
He's being coached. He's being coached right now, and I think that
he's not had that for years.
And the cool thing for me when it comes to Rashford right now is that Rashford still has. Like where Rashford is right now is that we've seen this from him before. There's another level. Yeah, there's another level for him to reach, and it's to become a prolific Premier League forward. If Rashford can hit that level, if he can become prolific, then I think United have really got themselves a player. Because if Rashford keeps going through dips, depending on who's coaching,
that's what I worry about.
I don't.
That's what I worry about, Brian. He's had a few good games, but will he continue it?
But I trust Ten Hag. I trust Ten Hag, but and I trust Ten Hag, and I trust the way that he's handled the players. When I saw Ten Hag, I mean, if you think back to the first 2 games of the season, and United were absolutely awful against Brentford and Brighton, and then we go on to play Liverpool, who they haven't beaten in like
who did he drop? Who did he drop?
Right, exactly.
Who did he drop in them 2 games? After them 2 games,
he dropped the club captain, and then he drops Cristiano Ronaldo. At that point, all bets are off. Like but then he didn't just do those things. It's one thing to drop the players, and it's another thing to drop the players, put the team out, and then they go and get the win. At that point,
and then he kept him out as well. Whereas other managers dropped him for 1 game and brought him back in. He kept him out.
I mean, you're gonna do whatever. At that point, these players are gonna do whatever you want them to do for you, and I feel like we've seen that this season. United are doing much better than they had. I don't think they've been brilliant at all. They were really poor in the second half against West Ham, but I do think that they are improving. And I think it's really interesting going on to play Sociedad, who, in my opinion, if you look at Realsociedad's record in La Liga and Manchester United's record in the Premier League, they are almost identical with one another. Almost identical. So it's going to be an interesting matchup this game.
I'm just agreeing with Mikey here, saying that amazing what happens when you manage players' injury as well. The elite coaching is the difference. Absolutely, and I've been vocal about it and say as well, like, if it was under Ollie time, he would rush back Rashford, like I call it Rushford. He would play injured players, even if they could play on one leg. The difference.
He did it with Marcel as well.
Yeah, but the difference what you're seeing here, he's taking his time with Martial, with Donny van de Beek. They're playing like, he's back on training. He's training by himself, solo, with the ball handling.
Do you not think that shows confidence in the manager as well? As in, I don't feel like I need to rush these players back because I can sort these players out to do the job until that happens.
Absolutely. Now, regarding Donny van de Beek, we all know that, it was favoritism in the past under Ole. He didn't get much game time. He worked his socks off, but still didn't get picked. David, you were instrumental in getting him over to Everton, like you were brokering this deal over. Yeah. He played a few games, and every game application, his stats showed that he was man of the match, and then he got injured again. And now he's coming back from injury. So apparently Erik ten Hag has big plans for Donny. Like, there's no move, what I can understand, right?
Yeah, from what I believe, he's staying. There was links with Leicester, a couple of other clubs. He hasn't got a proper chance for United. He went to Everton. He started 5. He featured in 7 games. He started 5 games. The 5 games that he started in, if you look at the stats, he was man of the match. When I say man of the match, the best player for Everton, really, rather than man of the match. The stats spoke for themselves. I actually got a text message off one of the coaches at Everton just after the move, and just in great. Donny was a great move. Thanks very much. And then unfortunately he got injured slightly after that, which hindered his development for both Everton and yourselves. I think if he had been if he hadn't been injured for the last couple of games for Everton, I don't think Everton would have went down to the last game of the season to save themselves. So I think Donny van de Beek, if he gets his chance, to grab with both hands, and I think he's got still a lot to give. He just hasn't had a fair chance at United.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree, and I would love to see. Sorry, go ahead, Phil.
I think he'll start the weekend with Bruno being out. He's had his 5 he's got his ban, hasn't he? Yeah. I think it could be Donny's chance to start up front instead of Bruno against Villa. Bruno will play tomorrow because he can't play at the weekend. And
we're going to that later on.
Drop Bruno for.
Yeah, we will look into that. When we finalize the show, we will look ahead. It's obviously Super Sunday. There's big games going on. We'll look at we talk about Donny starting potentially when Bruno is out and stuff like that. But David, you have a super fan. He's saying that. I usually say I'm a big fan of the High Kings. Big up, Ayush. Thank you, guys. We have a cracking show today.
Scottish fan.
He loves his Scottish.
Okay,
so let's get on to the preview then.
Yep, let's go into the preview. Okay, reports coming out. They have a lot of injuries. I don't know much about Sociedad. That, I don't think they're going to attack us much. We most likely will go there with intention to win 2 goals, to win the group. We have to beat them with 2 goals, right?
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, by 2 goals, be it 3-1, 4-1, 3-0, whatever. We need to win by 2.
Yeah. So
to avoid that playoff in February.
Yeah. Current injuries to Real Sociedad, David Silva, what I heard, Ander Banadexka, Momocho, Ayamonos, Michael Oyazabal, Omar Zadik. I only know David Silva. The rest for me is kind of, I don't follow La Liga that much.
I know he's about. He's a good player. He's a good player. So to miss him is fortunate for us.
So I see them kind of not attacking that much, probably park the bus a bit and let us lead the ball. Gentlemen, what do you think?
It's going to be a tough game, I think. Like I was saying a little bit earlier. Go ahead.
Brian, go. You started.
Oh, yeah, I was saying it's going to be a tough game because I think that both teams are in a very similar space right now in their respective leagues. I think both teams they're doing all right. Like I said earlier, I think Manchester United, if you look at their record on the season, 7 wins, 3 draws, and 7 wins, and there's like a handful of losses. I think that Sociedad is very similar. They've got 7 or so wins. Both teams they have a +1 goal difference. They're sitting in a very similar spot in the league right now. So it's a really good matchup against 2 teams that I think are actually pretty even with one another. And I think with all of Sociedad's injuries and they don't have a need to go out and beat Manchester United, that they probably won't. They won't not attack. They'll be pressured to by their fans. They're at home, but I still think that we're going to have to be the ones that take the game to them. And United don't have a great record in Spain, so
true.
It could be a long evening if United don't start very well. But with that being said, I'm still confident because United have been playing well. They've been very resilient as of late. And
clean sheets.
Yeah, I think if United do score early in the Sociedad game, I have no reason not to believe that they will win by a couple of goals and end up topping the group. And I laugh personally because on the one hand, if United top the group, it's beneficial because they don't have to play that needless playoff, which is probably going to be against Barcelona because that's just the way the story goes.
So? Oh, I would love to have Barcelona if we get the playoff.
But if they don't top
as long
the
as we
group,
can beat them.
Yeah, I was like, if they don't Barcelona in the league, a team that you didn't want to Europa League, and we all laugh at it.
Yeah. So your microphone is cracking a little bit, so you disappeared. But
all right, sorry.
I was saying that I wouldn't mind to get Barcelona if we get to that point, because I want to play Frankie. Yeah, I do.
As long as we beat them, Mick. That's all. We want to play them as long as we beat them. Otherwise, we don't want to play them.
The crap at the moment. Sorry. Yesterday's game against what's it called? Pilsen, Victoria Pilsen. It was crap.
Pilsen, yeah.
Pilsen, yeah. So anyway, I just forgot to mention something about the most significant things that I've seen. Obviously the transformation is being huge with Erik ten Hag, right? I'm a big advocate of the people and culture transformation, and I've been quite vocal about it. Like it's the application, what Erik ten Hag is doing to his team and his coaching staff. And obviously we forgot the unsung hero, which is behind it, which is McLaren, right? McLaren was the best understudy under, Sir Alex. So obviously he's taking a lot of advice from McLaren in terms of how to adapt the people and culture, bring out the hairdryer treatment, just being professional, being Manchester United, how to wear the badge.
Mick, remember, Erik ten Hag McLaren was Erik ten Hag's boss.
Yes, true.
In the Dutch league as well.
Yes,
so
yes, correct.
There is respect there.
He's spoken highly about Erik ten Hag and what kind of manager he was, and he was methodical. He had it came with sketchbook. He lives and breathes football. Like that's how I'm surprised. I'm surprised his wife hasn't signed the divorce papers as of yet. You know what I mean?
Yours has, though, aren't you?
Yeah. Slange, Eric. Slange. All good. Right. So But I wanted to say the most
I think
thing.
we talk about the game tomorrow, Mick.
Yes,
So
we
when we
will.
talk about the game tomorrow,
I will, but I will just
we
mention
talk-
one. Yeah, I will just mention one
Okay.
point, what everyone didn't mention, and it's the high line that we're playing right now. We haven't seen it ever. We're playing 35 yards away from the opposition's box, especially when Varane is playing. Cool. Right. That's all I wanted to say. Good night,
This
people.
is
We're
gonna be
closing the
quick.
stream.
On
Bye
the-
bye. Bye bye. Sorry, Phil. I was joking.
On the injuries, the players who we've mentioned are injured. They're not the ones who are amongst the top scorers this season. So their top scorer is Mendes with 7 goals. Our top scorer is Rashford with 7 goals. They've got Marino, who's got like four or five assists, something like that already this season. These are all still available. Saul off 5 goals, so they've still got goals and they've got plenty of strength in the squad. They may be listing players who are injured. We could do the same. We could say we've got no Jones, we've got no Martial, we've got no
Yeah.
Anthony. We do the same thing. I mean, Anthony, funnily enough, hasn't been seen since he went off on a bit of a spin. But yeah, I think
Still
that's
did it.
Ten Hag doing his control of the team again. I think, to be honest.
Mm.
But I think what I'm saying about Sociedad is, I don't think it's a given. Now I've looked into the details. I know at first I was like, oh well, we've got to go out and we've got to score 2 more goals than them. And Ten Hag said it in his presser today. He said, we know what we've got to do to win.
Yeah.
He sounds very confident. He's going in guns blazing. He's not saying, well, we'll see what we can do, as other managers have said in the past. He's saying, yeah, we know what we've got to do to win. We'll get out there. We'll do our best to give it.
We take the game
I
to
don't
them,
think
yeah.
it's going to start off with a game of chess. I think it'll be out the traps, and I think
Right.
it'll be fast-paced game, end to end, a bit like a cup final.
I agree.
I'd like to see
I agree.
be thrashing.
It is a cup
And I
final,
think
Phil.
we've got a stronger defence.
Okay. Fantastic, Phil. So let's do a traditional football philosophy lineup we put together. Me and Phil has been discussing over this, contemplating, changing. It's a positive headache. What do you reckon, Phil? Is it a positive headache?
Yeah, I mean, at first we looked at putting Anthony in the starting lineup, and then obviously found out he hadn't even travelled, so we changed it back. I think my problem is what happens on the right wing. I think Ronaldo will start again, based on the fact that he's getting, even though he's getting amongst the goals now, he's starting to get his form back. You can see that coming. He's slowly starting to fit into Ten Hag's style of play. We know pre-season missing that was massive. For whatever reason, on or off the pitch, it's definitely impacted his start to the season. He's got a couple of goals now. There's still nowhere near as many as you'd expect from Ronaldo, but he is starting to get amongst them, and he can cause the opposition problems. Even if he's not scoring the goals, he's making the runs, which still causes a little bit of fear for a defender, which allows somebody else to make the run or whatever it might be. When you look at the last 2 goals that Rashford scored, when you look at the angle of it, Ronaldo's not far away. So he is still having that impact on the pitch at the same time. So yeah, I think that with I think the defensive midfielders with Casemiro and Eriksen, I think they've got to be the
pick
ones
themselves
into the back 4 for the time. They're playing so well. Eriksen with that assist at the weekend was just absolutely genius. The more times you watch it in slow motion. It was just amazing. And I think he's able to do that because Casemiro is so solid at the back. And we've got obviously the likes of Martinez and Dalot and Shaw who are playing so well, and then you can choose between Lindelof and Maguire, and even them hardly making a mistake. Whoever comes on, Maguire played some of against Sheriff last week. Some of his long passes across the pitch was just outstanding, absolutely fantastic. Watching him play was really good to see it, and so I think that we've got a strong back line, and I think we've got the belief to go forward. I don't think it'll be 3-0, but I do think we'll get the two goal win.
There was Mr. Positive me that put the 3-0. I'll let you pick the team. I'll pick the score, right? So, but we can discuss within the squad here what their score prediction will be, and even with the crowd as well. Yeah. So you're seeing playing Lindelof instead of Maguire in this instance for this match?
Well, I think we saw Maguire against obviously recently in the last game, and he played well. But I'm just not sure what he's going to do, because obviously, but the minute he puts Maguire on the pitch, he gives him the captaincy, and I don't know what he wants. That can change his opinion, because obviously, if he puts Lindelof on, he can give Bruno the captaincy, and is he a better captain for on-game management and drilling the team and things like that? And that could play into it.
Yep.
You don't
I don't think either of them are. I don't think either of them are captain material, in my opinion, at all. None of them.
There's obviously an injury report that Anthony is not traveling. He's injured. There's Sancho is not even. He's ill, so he's not going to be part of the lineup either tomorrow. Martial as well. They're not rushing Martial back, which is brilliant. It's a breath of fresh air to see. You know, give him a chance in January, or maybe he will get a few minutes against Villa. But it might be plausible that he starts Lindelof in this, because they're not going to attack as well. And Lindelof is an attacking, ball-carrying centre-back. Plays well with Martinez, I would agree. It's an interesting one. Will he play Shaw, or will he rest Shaw, or will he play Malacia? We don't know. That's the thing. And I think Garnacho
Malacia might get a shout.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's Erik ten Hag that picks the team, and whatever he puts on, I have belief in it. You know, what's your opinion, Brian? What do you reckon? Is this a fair assessment in terms of the lineup selection, or do you have a different team? Bryant, you there? Bryant?
Your mic's gone again, Bryant.
Your mic is on strike, Bryant.
Yeah, no mic.
No mic. You can do sign language. Say okay. Or bad. Mike is dead.
No, can't hear you, mate.
Okay. I move on to David. Do you reckon this is a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think it is, guys. I think Phil made a good point there about Maguire and Lindelof. I would certainly be starting Lindelof before Maguire. He's just been a bit ropey. Okay, he's come back and he had a couple of okay games, but listen, Lindelof, I just think, you know what you're getting with Lindelof. You don't get as many mistakes.
Yeah.
Rashford and Ronaldo. Yeah, Alanga. Yeah. I mean, that looked like a strong squad.
I agree with Ayush here. Sancho might get a chance instead of Alanga. We never know. I would see Sancho coming in.
I don't think so, unfortunately.
I mean, Alanga's great. Alanga's a great young player coming through. You know, give him a go. He's proven himself so far. Well, you know, step up to the plate. You know, it's big.
I'd argue Garnacho's got a higher ceiling than Alanga.
Michael saying from the comments here: Shaw, Martinez, Maguire, Dalot, Casemiro, Ericsson, Garnacho, Fernandes, Rashford, Ronaldo. That would be his.
That's probably about right.
That's probably right. At the end of the day, it's a positive headache, gents. You know, being a United supporter is a positive headache, and we just have to wait to see. You know, hello, Bryant, you there?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I had to put on this ridiculous headset to get it to work.
Good. You look like a
it's all right. Mick's got one as well, Brian. Don't worry. You're not the only one with ridiculous.
When I do esports commentary, I use them when I do esports commentary. So okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I was supposed to be at CS:GO in Brazil, but I can't because I'm going away on Friday to my personal holiday. So, Brian, what's your general thoughts and feelings regarding me and Phil's selection? I mean, you probably see it from a different perspective, or would you agree with it, or would you see something else?
Yeah, well, I guess for me, I actually was going to say to play Maguire instead of Lindelof, just because I think Maguire needs the minutes to be able to get up to speed, and we definitely know that we're going to need Lindelof at the weekend against Villa. And so, with that being said, I know we need a strong team to go in. But I'm thinking about what Phil said earlier. If I'm thinking about if Sociedad go out and play Shorleth up front, then that could potentially cause problems for the likes of Martinez and the Lindelof partnership. Lindelof not being particularly strong in the air historically over his time at Manchester United and things like that. So I feel like Maguire needs the minutes. So why not give him a go? He played decently well against West Ham on the weekend. So
Right.
kind of keep that momentum rolling, and the meritocracy culture that Ten Hag has been building, that would check out, right? If you play well, you get picked, and Maguire played well, so in theory he should get picked. So I feel like bring him with you, play him, trust him, and then if we need Lindelof for Villa away, then we'll play Lindelof instead. So that's just my. I think other than that, the lineup is strong.
Okay.
And I think can do the job.
Sorry, I think Niall's cat wants to have a different lineup because he was just biting Niall there as well.
Yeah. How did you know he's biting me?
He didn't agree with you, Bryant. The
No.
chat didn't agree with you. I can hear
That's all
that.
good. That's
So,
okay.
thanks for all the cuts, mate.
All right, so that's cool.
Over
Everyone had it.
over the last
Oh my
games,
God.
Sociedad have been,
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
over the last 5 games, Sociedad, the most common formation has been 4-1-3-2. And he's done 4-4-2 and a 4-5-1. So he does like to play 2 up front. And he's had wins and losses with that. His last game was a loss. They lost 2-0 at home.
To Betis, yeah.
And before that, they won 2-0 away. So they're not on the greatest form, but they have got the players to make the difference. And that Mendes and Soloff, they are the ones who are the players to watch, I think, for
It's the danger man.
Sociedad.
All right, cool, gentlemen. That's okay. Listen, looking ahead then, of course, we got to wrap up the show. We're going well over time. It's fun when you talk football and when you have 5 passionate people, 4 United supporters, 1 Liverpool supporter, but also a football agent.
Boo.
Yeah, you know what I mean. In terms of your score predictions, right? Let me start with Niall.
You know what? I'm going to go 4-1.
Big up. Ayush,
I've never
9-0?
been so optimistic.
Where
Yeah,
is
Irish for 9-0.
Where is my favorite chatter? Ayush, he always goes 9-0, 1-0. But I thought I saw 1-0.
I asked for Sancho, he's not even on the plane.
Yeah. Wait. I go back. Please go ahead. I saw Ayush saying 1-0 somewhere in the early. He was very off.
No,
early off.
to be fair, he does reasonable predictions and then follows it up by 9-0.
Yeah, there we go. Before we even started cracking on, he was like, let's get to the end. 1-0. So there you go. Or have you changed your mind, Mr. Ayush? Fine.
No, but generally, I think 4-1. 4-1, 4-0. I've never been so positive on it.
4-1. I go next to Standish. What do you reckon? What's your gut feeling saying? What's your heart
3-1.
saying? What's your head saying?
3-1.
3-1.
Go with 3-1. I think we'll get the 2 goals. I think it'll be right near the end. I think it'll be really fighting for it. I think they're fighting not to concede and we'll be fighting to score. It'll be a really good battle. Hopefully we'll have the firepower to do it, but with Martial and Anthony out, I think we're going to be dependent on which Ronaldo turns up.
Cool.
David's not interested because he's a Liverpool fan.
No. I move on to David. David's going to say draw.
I think it'll draw. I think 2 each.
Yeah, he's neutral. He's going to say
Yeah.
draw.
No, genuinely, I think it'll be a cracking game. I think there'll be goals. There will be goals in it, and I think if you look at the stats, they're very well matched. But no, I think it'll be a draw 2 each.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to remove my follow after the stream, and if it's 2-2, I'll follow you again.
Big up, Mike. Mikey, aggressive start from the whistle. No rushed passes. We can do a 2-0 if we're lucky. Yeah, we need 2-0 though, Mike. We need 2-0, right? We need to win with 2 goals.
Yeah.
Okay, USA. Back to you, Mr. Bryant. Pastor Bryant, what do you think?
Honestly, I think it'll be a 1-0. I think United won't be able to get the 2. I just don't think I don't think United will. I think United will win the game, but I don't think that they will be able to get the 2 goals. I think it'll be tough for them. They don't do well enough in Spain. Yep. I really don't. They don't do well enough in Spain.
I can't believe I'm the most positive on tonight's show.
Wait till
what the hell's going on?
I mean, at the end of the day, the point for United is the reality is United shouldn't be in this position because they dropped a horrid performance against Sociedad at home and lost. And so they're now Sociedad are in the position where they just have to protect what they've earned, and United have to chase. And so I'm interested to see if United if they have it in the night. If Ronaldo has a brilliant game, he could get a hat trick against Sociedad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Brian, I don't think Niall's cat is agreeing what you're saying because he's biting him again.
Every time you speak, Brian, my cat bites me.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna have a Europa League playoff in February.
No. I can't believe, right, I'm a United fan, and I'm probably the most negative United fan going, and I'm the most positive on the show tonight. What's going wrong?
I mean, I'm positive about Manchester United. I just, on this night, I think it would be difficult for him.
Yeah, he's being realistic. He's a realistic.
No, I think normally I am, but for some reason I think it's going to be 4-1 or at least Phil's 3-1.
And that's okay. That's okay if they don't get the desired result but still win the game.
I think it's because we need it, mate. We need to win more by 2. We need to do it.
Mr. Stinson, Mike agrees with you. He's in this super chat.
Also, when's the last time United scored more than 4 goals? You know,
Bryant, my cat is going to bite me again. Be quiet.
Well, you like that? Sorry, I didn't say that.
My pussy is biting me. Yes, yes, Mick.
Stroke that cat.
It's growling.
Yeah, Bryant. Fair assessment. Fair play. I mean, I have heard Brian speak so many times before on different spaces and stuff like that, and he's very realistic and optimistic, right? So I do echo, and even Mike was saying that he agrees. Who's been the most optimistic this season? I don't know.
Not me.
Me.
Yeah, you. Definitely you.
Yeah. I mean, even to Phil Standish is copying my magic number 3-1 because I always get the score prediction of 3-1. But I genuinely think it will be a 3-0. I'm very pessimistic. I'm going all guns blazing. Why? Bada bing, because it's a crucial game. We need to win by 2. We've been keeping a very defensive, solid unit defending as a team.
Without Maguire.
Clean sheets, even clean sheets with Maguire last time as well. Now, I echo what you're saying that Spain hasn't been our strongest battleground, but this is a different manager, different playing style, different squad, you know?
Yeah, it's not David Moyes anymore.
It's not David Moyes. It's not pragmatic football. This is Erik ten Hag ball. And I do expect some from get-go, that we will dominate the ball and just attack them, right? That's I believe that Erik ten Hag will play an attacking line from minute 1, from the whistle.
I agree.
To the end, right? So we will see. At the end of the day, people, fantastic for all having you. We've extended the time with half an hour almost. We have so much things to talk about, but we have so much things to look forward to as well.
You're going to get billed for this extra time, by the way, Mick.
Yep.
You're going to get invoices.
Please send me your invoices, gents. You know what I mean. We have Super Sunday on Sunday. We'll be doing a show. Of course, we're going to review. There's some cracking games. Of course, United is playing not West Ham. We already played West Ham, but we're playing Villa. Liverpool. You want to take that one, David?
Yeah, we've got a tough game away to Spurs. I think.
Spurs
it will
with
be a tough
Conte.
one. So yeah, it'll be exciting.
It'll be cracking. Yeah.
You've got to beat them, David. They're so boring.
I mean, if we turn up like we did last night in the enthusiasm, I think we can beat them. But once again, you look at the last couple of Premier League results, Leeds, last minute of the game, Forest, just a joke. I agree.
I say you should. You should, not you could. But they're boring. Please beat them.
David, I think both teams at the moment. Both teams at the moment are struggling. In the Premier League, it'll be a real good battle. It should be day to day.
Yeah, I think
regardless
it's a
of
game on.
Sort of thing.
I'm looking forward to it.
And I think we'll.
As long as Conte doesn't kill it with his boring football, it should be an entertaining game.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's going to be a cracking Sunday. I'm really looking forward to watch that game as well, Liverpool. as well to see how they're performing. But also the big firecracker is also Chelsea Arsenal, the derby, right? That's going to be a massive blow, right?
I thought the firecracker was tomorrow. Me hosting the watch along.
Yes, of course you're going to. I give you the controls tomorrow. Whoever wants to join the watch along, please. I will not join it because I cannot do this. I need to watch the football by myself, mate.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's you're watching a TV show or a movie and you tell me who the killer is, like 1 hour before it's finished, right? No, I cannot do it. I'm too dyslexic for it. I need to focus on the game. So I give you the controls tomorrow, and whoever wants to join the watch along, please go ahead. Arsenal is going to be a big game. It's going to be a cracking game, and we're going to have a cracking Super Sunday show. Hopefully, we get some ex-United player on. You never know if he wants to join.
Leave it with me.
Leave it up to you, David. If
Leave it
Parks
with
wants to come on or not. We've been trying, knocking on his door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bryant, hope you enjoyed as a debutant. How can you rate us? Give us your Trustpilot score here. Coming off the bench.
You did well, bro. You did well.
You did well. You spoke well, Bryant. Big good.
Thank you.
I give you 5 out of 5. This is my guys. If you wanna give the panel ratings, the rating is like 9 out of 5 is average, 6 is good, 7. If you can rate them afterwards in the comments.
They shouldn't be even on the board, mate. It should be 8 to 10. That's it.
Yeah. Also, you can rate who was the man of the match in this panel discussion. You can also do that afterwards by posting comments on this video as well. But please, guys, it's been a cracking show. Don't forget, please, share this video, like and subscribe as usual. And don't forget, Glaze is out. You know what I mean?
Glaze is out.
Green and gold until we're sold. Even you, Liverpool, can shout that,
FSG out.
FSG out. Will it be FSG out? Really, guys, thank you for your time. It's been fantastic to have you all. It's been great talking points. Some of you delivered some good uppercuts, some good, we had the Irish.
Scottish.
The MMA champion there, Tyson Fury, come on, man, come on. I mean, it's all good. Extremely happy, extremely joyful. I'm off traveling on Friday. Looking forward to a stream from Turkey with you guys for the Super Sunday. And we have great interaction with a lot of good quality chats. I will give you back your evening, your morning or afternoon in US as well.
Gotta say, we've had some great chats tonight as well, so keep them coming in the future. Some great chats.
So look forward to have you over the Super Sunday. Look forward to come back. Yeah, please come back. Visit us tomorrow for the what do you call it? The watch along.
Watch along.
Mentalong or something.
Come on, boss. Sell it, boss.
Yeah, I will not. But listen, guys. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much. I'm very humbled to have you, David, as usual.
Anytime, guys.
Yep. Welcome. I catch up with you very soon. See you on Sunday, David.
See you.
See you Sundays.
Nice to meet you, David.
Bye-bye.
Brian,
Take care.
Brian, thank you so much for coming, Brian. Thank you. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Cheers, bye. Like and subscribe.
Thanks,
See you, bye.
Are you happy? Whatever, I'm the gaffer. I make the team.
Yeah, it is whatever. Support the team for fuck's sake. It's a rebuild, Erik ten Hag. We love you. We support you. Please like and subscribe for our channel. This is Mick Ruby from MUFC Realist TV. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and while you're at it, please check out the other contents that we have of Mick Ruby and Realist TV.
Anyway, cunts, adios, I'm out of here.